Greetings. I'm your host with the most. Yep, you got it. It's Dizzy again. It's the 3rd of January, and I'm just documenting what I've learnt today. Some interesting things, actually. How do you define courage? Courage. I was listening to Les Brown, and Les Brown was saying that courage is defined as going from failure to failure without losing any enthusiasm. Let me repeat that. Courage is to be able to go from failure to failure without losing any enthusiasm. Now imagine this. How many times have you failed at something? The classic example is, how many times do you give a child when it's learning to walk? How many chances do you give it to walk? And would you say, look, you've had 15, 20 goes now, you're never going to walk, forget it? No, you're not going to say that. You're going to keep having the child try until the child walks, right? Because it's important. So the same respect, courage, no matter what it is the ability to fail and not lose your enthusiasm. That's one of the things that I learned, because when you're starting up a new business or you're pursuing a dream, it ain't easy. I'll be honest with you, right now, the first couple of weeks of opening the shop was difficult, because imagine this, you're sat in a shop and there's nobody coming in. What do? I had lots of reading material, but it just wasn't really doing it for me. So that's what I learned. Courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing any enthusiasm. Now, I'll tell you something else. What was interesting, and I think this is something that's really interesting about hairdressing, and you could actually use this. I mean, if you're in a job or you interact with people, then you could probably experience this too, because it's based on how you see it, right? So the people that come in are really interesting. I'll give you an example. There was a guy who came in today for a haircut, and he didn't have anything good to say about anything. He was just complaining about everything, and I think really he gets off on complaining. I think if he had nothing to complain about, he wouldn't know what to do. And he was the kind of guy where if you had given him a solution to something he was complaining about, he'd have found another problem anyway, something else to complain about. So that was interesting. And the idea is that when you have a client like that, what do you do? Do you sit there and just agree with him or complain? Well, you've got to first of all understand he's come for a haircut, so you've got to give him his due and give him the basics. See if he wants any assistance. If he doesn't, he might just want to just let off some steam. Fine, that I can let that stuff just bounce right off me. So, but after that was very interesting. Was a gentleman that was referred by somebody else. Now, how do you know if somebody's interested in personal development, in personal growth? How do you know? There's a certain few you can ask. You can say a few questions, or you can make a few statements, and based on these statements and their reactions or their responses, you can judge whether or not they're going to be worthwhile having a conversation in personal development. And this one guy, I said to him today, we all, as human beings, operate based on the information we have. Now imagine this. if you had information that could help you give your family and children a better life, surely you would use that information, right? He said, of course. So imagine this right now, you're operating based on the information you have and the systems you know that work for you. And he said, yeah. I said, great. So imagine this. Imagine if you had access to more information and some ideas. And he said, yeah, that'd be great. I said, so this is the world of personal development. So that was another guy. Now this guy was open and he was interested. Then there was a lady who came in, brought a son. The son absolutely loved his hair. He loved it so much that he wanted to buy the gel as well. So that's great. But his mother was interested in personal development too. So isn't that crazy? Anyway, she's coming back on Wednesday for a seminar, an opportunity. Right now, are you looking for an opportunity? If I could show you a way, if I could share some information with you that I know, if you were to apply it, would change the financial course of your whole life, would you be interested? Come on, seriously, would you? Would you really be interested in finding out information and ideas that could change your financial future, not just for you, but for your children, your mothers, everybody? If you're interested, get in touch. www.cutandgrow.co.uk. You can find me there. This is Dizzy, and I'm definitely keeping you busy. See you tomorrow.